Hey guys, Joe Bonamassa here from his home in Los Angeles, California. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about the Gibson SG, which took me about, I'd say 30 years to figure out. I used to not be able to get on with SGs. I always found them, they wanted to do this, or, the balance was off. They were a little bit bright. And about 5 years ago, I had this epiphany. I happened to stumble upon a really good one. And I said, you know what? I'm going to commit to this and I'm going to start playing it live. And I'll tell you what, since then, I've been using them in the studio, on the gigs, everything. It revolutionized my way of looking at a humbucker guitar. There's a few tricks to get them to sound the way I want to hear them in my head. So today we're taking this one. This is, I call this my Mick Taylor. Mick Taylor had a PAF equipped 1962 or 63. This is either a 62 or 63. Les Paul SG, which is basically, I'll show you. It still says Les Paul on the headstock, but it's got the horseshoe Bigsby. And some people don't really get on with the 5-speed transmission. I happen to like them. My Tommy Bolin guitar, I think we've seen that before, has a horseshoe Bigsby. This is a horseshoe Bigsby. I like them. So my trick with the SG is when I'm playing one, I treat the treble pickup tone knob as if it starts at 0 and ends at 5. And that's just kind of a baseline. And I leave the tone all the way up on the front pickup because the lead pickups tend to get a little spiky and, it's a little bright. So if I roll the tone off to 5 and then start there, it generally balances better. Like the front pickup balances better with the back pickup, and it takes a little bit of gain out of it, but it kind of makes it big and thicker on the notes. A little harder to play, but for example, but it works. For example, this is what it sounds like with the tone all the way up. Here we go. Okay, and today we're playing through a 1966 JTM 45, a TC Electronics 2290, straight from the 80s, and a BK Butler tube driver that BK Butler actually built for me. It's a really, really great one. So this is kind of a cool at-home rig. So that's volume up 10, tone at 10. So let's see what it sounds like with the tone at 5. Hopefully it'll translate through the video. Not all of this does, but you'll feel it under the strings more than you'll hear it maybe sonically. And like I said, it balances better with the front pickup if you have the tone down a little bit. For example, here's the front pickup. And then here's an example with both tones up to 10, switching from the front pickup to the back pickup. Here we go. So whatever your preference is, the Gibson SG is a very, very versatile guitar and completely different from a Les Paul. The way you approach it, the double cutaway, where the neck meets the body. If you have a late 60s one, the neck meets the body somewhere down here. It's the longest neck tenon of all time. You can almost feel like you break the neck off with your hand. But they're really, really great and different than a 335, a Les Paul, or any humbucking pickup, Gibson. And they're not terribly expensive to buy. A new one is not terribly expensive. You can find them used, and they're all pretty good. You know, the ones that they make now, the ones they made in the 90s, 80s, they're all pretty good. 70s, 60s, you know, they started in 1960, and they've been making them ever since. So it's a great tool to have in your bag of tricks, and it's one of those things that you'll find so many new sounds, and it'll kind of like dictate how you play differently too. You know, it's not the it's a different guitar altogether. So good enough for Duane Allman, good enough for me.